Hey guys, Braden here and welcome back to City Skylines in Alexandria, and today we're building a few different things. It's not particularly one project as it usually is, or sometimes, I don't know, I tend to start a few and then never finish anything actually, which I suppose, in which case this episode is exactly the same as all the other ones. But today the main thing we're focusing on is yet another residential development, not a high-rise one though, it's sort of a mid-rise townhouse apartment block, in its own little closed-off community. There's some smaller townhouses in there as well with some backyard space, and we've done a little promenade along the road as well, which looks pretty cool. We're also laying the foundation for a transport hub which will serve the suburban part of the city. So we'll do a second one over across the bridge, which is where the downtown area is going to go. There's a bit of a freeze in the game at the moment as well. Every time that happens, every time it packages for the first time after load up, it's probably a good minute or more that you're sort of stuck there. And if you touch anything, the game will crash as well. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the transport hub will service the suburban part of the city. So there's some metro overhaul mod stuff that gets placed, which is basically allows you to use metros as above ground train lines, which is really useful. So the metro will basically be underground for the bigger part of the city, the downtown across the bridge, and then out in the suburbs we'll have some raised tracks, so some more traditional sort of train lines as well. We'll try and serve one big transport hub where there might be some streetcars, there'll be buses, there'll be metro, and the regional train station that is over in the current large residential development, that'll be moved closer, so the regional traffic and everybody from the industry area can hop off that train and then get on a bus or a metro line or what have you. And hopefully it'll all be one contained place for transport as well. And yeah, there's also a big old intersection that's going in there as well, which is basically the intersection over near the bridge on the other side of the city. I still need to start naming places still. But just on our side of the bridge, our big interchange we have there that we worked on last week, the little bridge that goes underneath was not connected to anything. It comes out under the other side of the city, and now it's connected so people can actually use that. And people are using it, and traffic hasn't completely fallen apart yet. That being said, hardly anybody uses it. So once we get a bunch of people in the city, things will undoubtedly crumble, which is always fun. So yeah, a few different projects, a few different styles of building, some decorative stuff as always, using a lot of decals, ground decals and things, and textures and that sort of stuff. I was on the City Skylines Discord and people were talking about the idea of like a decal painter, so the texture from the decals you can paint down. I love that idea because at the moment placing decals is a nightmare, especially because they tend to clip as well. You'll see that in the live stuff. When moving around, the textures will clip in and out, so you might have lines and tiled decals that just won't be there, and then you'll see ugly other textures peering through, and it's not particularly nice, but it's the best we've got, and you can sort of work around it for the most part just by not looking at it from particular angles. But right now I'm just laying the foundations for that and seeing what kind of works. I knew that I wanted two roads very close to each other and then a bit of a promenade in between those two roads. So basically one small one lane, one way, one of the little roads that the apartments would be built on, and that runs close to the avenue. And then in between those two roads we have some seats and a nice walkway for people to explore or whatever. And that's where we would start laying our nice ground textures, and it sort of worked out like that. And the reason I wanted to do that, one of the worries that I had with that was having two roads so close to each other. If you intersect them and the intersections are too close together, as you've seen before in previous parts and everything, traffic doesn't flow through, it stops. I had a big issue with that in one of the previous series I did. I think it was Vanguard, because we had a sunken freeway, and then the freeway exit would come up and then merge immediately onto an avenue that was running alongside the freeway, and then traffic would just stop, so you'd have traffic backed up all along the freeway, and it was just a nightmare. And I avoided that by doing exactly what you're seeing me do now, basically moving the intersection up a little bit. But then I shot myself in the foot because those two roads there, with the road that's going, oh, you can't actually see it now, I'm confusing everybody, I know, as well. But basically I did the same thing again, just inside the development, so it's basically help nothing, so I need to work that out. I'll show you what I'm talking about in the live stuff anyway. But the biggest news, I suppose, for me in City Skylines recently has been the fact that I ordered some more RAM, so I'm now running 16 gigs of DDR3 memory, which is significantly better. So before, when I loaded up, it would be, I don't know, from the time I press play to getting to the main menu and loading up the game, loading in all the assets, and then getting all the lag to go away so I could actually build, it was anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes. Now it's 10 to 15 minutes. So it's basically, it was triple what it is now. So it's a good thing. I like it a lot. I'm quite happy because I can actually play the game when I want to play it now. It's not like a huge investment. I don't have to plan ahead for 45 minutes. I just have to plan ahead for 10 minutes, which is pretty bloody easy. So it makes building a lot easier now, and it's brought back a fair amount of enthusiasm from myself for the game. So that's a good thing. I probably should have done it a lot sooner. I just put it off. I wasn't sure if it'd help. I was looking at a full system upgrade actually, but that will come, but this will do me for now. I also want to transfer the game onto an SSD because it's running off a mechanical hard drive right now, because 90% of the time my C drive, which is where, like, I think Premiere and all that, Adobe CC and everything is installed on that, and then the OS and everything as well. 90% of the time it's just full, so there's not really any room for games on it. But I've managed to clear some space. I just don't really want to do it because I feel like, knowing my luck, the save game would corrupt or assets would disappear and everything would go to shit. So, I don't know, if anybody's had any experience transferring the game with a heavily modded City Skylines game, let me know. Otherwise I'm not even going to bother, because I can't risk it. If I had to start Alexandria again, I don't know, I'd probably never make City Skylines videos ever again, so I don't really want to do that. But what I said I would do last time is go back through the questions from the last couple of videos. I think I missed one. I don't know. I think I was meant to answer them in episode 5, but I missed it, and then I missed it last time as well. So we'll answer the questions from episode 4 like I should have done in episode 5. Let us see what we have here. Your game never seems to play. Is it always paused? Pretty much. I mean, the game runs better when the game is paused, actually. I'm also seeing a lot of these comments for, like, electric heaters and stuff, because when that video went up, it was quite cold. Right now it's about 35 degrees. It was 43 yesterday, which was hell. And I did a lot of work on City Skylines yesterday as well, which means the computer's kicking off heat and it's 43 outside, and the aircon doesn't really come from the lounge room down to my room. So it was quite warm. I feel like I have answered some of these questions, have I not? Most of the ones from episode 5 are pretty much, is the series dead? No, the series is not dead. It is not. People suggesting names for stuff as well. What color correction and map theme do I use? The color correction I use now is Daylight Classic, which is a mod actually, because you can modify the look of it and everything, but it's like a multi-part mod, so you need to get the color correction and everything as well. But I definitely recommend that. It gives you the best balanced look, in my opinion, unless you're going for a really stylized city, which, you know, I kind of was before, hence why I was using a fairly full-on color correction. But I think Daylight Classic is best. And the map theme is realistic 1.8.2.6 or something. I don't know, some numbers and digits and numerical codes or whatever the hell they've used to call it. But yeah, that's what I use for that. I feel like I have answered these questions. I feel like I definitely have. Let me see. Yeah, I totally have. What am I doing? Anyway. What do we have here? Someone else has exactly the same issue as me. 40 minutes to play the game. That is quite, I'd like to see a City Skylines 2 at some point. I mean, it's been 3 years since City Skylines came out in May? when did City Skylines come out? It was 2015. It was 10th of March 2015. It's not that far away at all. So theoretically, next year or something, we could have City Skylines 2, which I would be totally... It probably wouldn't be called City Skylines 2, but what I would like is a really nice graphics engine, you know, run it on Unreal Engine or, I don't know, CryEngine or something like that. Not necessarily those engines, but something that looks really nice, something with, I don't know, PDR, preferably physics-based rendering, because that makes everything look better, in my experience. Because the visual, it's an Unreal Engine game, so it's an ugly game, City Skylines, in my opinion. I don't particularly like the look of it. I don't think it looks good at all, which is a shame, because you build some really nice looking cities, it just doesn't look very good. I mean, visually. I mean, you can make stuff that looks cool, but visual, in terms of visual fidelity, the game doesn't look particularly nice. So, I don't know, I suppose there's some nice looking Unity games. Not really. You need to really develop a new engine. I would like to see Paradox and Colossal Order actually develop a specific engine for City Skylines, something that can properly take advantage of multi-threading, because I was reading up, I talked last time about multi-threading in City Skylines, but it doesn't really take advantage of multi-threading. I mean, it'll use 8 cores if you got them, but it's going to put 90% load on the first core and then maybe 10% load across the other 7. So really you could accomplish the same thing with a quad core like I am. So it's not really necessary. Clock speeds would help, but really it's just memory. That is the main thing with City Skylines. But yeah, I'd like to see proper multi-core support, a really nice graphics engine, and support for heavily modded games from the get-go. I mean, if they build City Skylines 2, they sort of know from the beginning that the game's going to be heavily modded, so they need to kind of prepare for that as best they can and make the game have the support for it from the get-go. Learn all the things that they have from City Skylines. Try and take all the best mods, all the basically unplayable without mods that are on the workshop, and try and incorporate them into the base game. And for God's sake, just put weather and seasons and all that stuff and day and night cycle into the game from the get-go, rather than mooching crappy expansion packs. I mean, I love City Skylines. It's a great game, and it's what, $30, $20-30 or something like that. It's not a particularly big investment. Even so, you're not really getting a full game on release. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that should be in a city builder that wasn't there on release, which is a pest. I mean, I can't talk because I haven't paid for any of the expansions. I actually don't have green cities. Maybe I should ask for that. I don't know. But yeah, I've been given copies by Paradox for all the expansion packs, which is very nice of them. So I can't really talk on actual cost and investment too much. But if I was buying them, I wouldn't have bought Natural Disasters. They gave that to me. I probably wouldn't have bought Snowfall. I would have bought After Dark, had I not known that you get the day-night cycle anyway. So, I mean, I guess they add most of the stuff that you really want in the free updates that come with the expansions, like the day-night cycle and stuff was added with the update, the free patch that came with After Dark. So, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of lessons to learn, and hopefully if we do go to City Skylines 2, we'll get a better game, a more stable game. I'd like an engine that can handle a lot of mods, because City Skylines, while it runs better for me now, it's still extremely unstable. If you touch anything while it's loading, then it crashes. If you touch anything in general, it'll just crash. Sometimes it'll just crash for no reason, and that's kind of disappointing. But, you know, games are never really... You can't anticipate a game like City Skylines having the type of community that it had. Nobody really foresaw that. I didn't foresee that. I thought, hey, a cool game, maybe there'll be some mods for it like there was for SimCity 4 or whatever. But this is the only game that I know of that's got such heavy mod support, at least of this type, for the sort of creative genre. There's Skyrim and stuff that have crazy mods, but games in this genre, certainly the City Builder, they're not generally modded this heavily. So it's a bit of a precursor, City Skylines, and it's cool that we've been around to see it and experience it grow. But as you'll be seeing right now, I'm placing and copying, pasting, thanks to the Move It tool, a couple of townhouses. That's a very, very useful tool, the Move It tool, because it saves you a lot of work. Unfortunately, a lot of the time you can't actually use it that much because you're building different things, and if the tolerances are off at all, then copying and pasting just doesn't work. So that's when all the time-consuming stuff, redoing the same stuff over and over again, comes in, which is one of the many tedious things with City Skylines. I don't know, I kind of want to make a an analytic sort of video on City Skylines to decide whether it actually is a good game. I think it's a... I don't know if it's a good game. I think it is a good game, but I'm not playing City Skylines anymore. A lot of people aren't playing City Skylines anymore. They're playing a series of mods that were put onto the base of City Skylines. City Skylines is basically just a base for a massive modding community. So, I don't know. Does that make it a good game? I don't think it makes it a bad game. And that's not entirely the developer's fault, because like I said, nobody can foresee that happening. So, I don't know. I kind of want to take a look at City Skylines and analyse it. I like doing that sort of stuff. That's another thing that I like to sort of try and bring onto the channel as well, more analytic videos rather than just creative-y stuff, because I have that sort of mind. I like analysing stuff and critiquing things. That's a little bit of enjoyment I got from film school. But yeah, maybe stay tuned for that. We'll see. I definitely want to do something like that with The Sims 4, because I've got some thoughts on that game. Maybe looking back at Sims 3, City Skylines. I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of good games, bad games, specifically good games, I played Titanfall 2 finally. That game is ballin'. I was really, really surprised by that. I played through the campaign and it's too short, unfortunately, but goddamn, it's a bloody good campaign and it's a bloody good game. I never played the first one. I was interested in it, but I don't know. I don't like paying full price for games. But coming into Titanfall 2, I have Origin access, so it's basically $50 for the year, and I have 30 different games I can play, and Titanfall 2 was on the list, so I thought, oh, I'll download it and play it, and it is lit. My voice is starting to go on me as well. But yeah, it's a really great story. It's really, really well designed. Level design's fantastic. It's just enjoyment of motion, that game. It's fantastic. I like it a lot. Also, on the topic of new games, I bought Planet Coaster. So I don't know if anybody would be interested in that. I think I'm going to do like a mini-series just as like a tester, a teaser, just to put some feelers out and see if people are interested in that. I'm not particularly good at it yet, but I wasn't particularly good at City Skylines when I started building either, and now I think I'm okay-ish. Not as good as most of the builders out there, but I can make some cool stuff every now and then, I think. But yeah, if people are interested in Planet Coaster, let me know and I can have a crack at making some videos for that. But I'll probably do a mini-series first, just like a live play thing, and then try and get my skills up. I've got like 10 hours in it so far, so I'm hardly into it. But yeah, I mean, the thing with City Skylines is, I mean, I can do the creative-y stuff because that's all that's in it for me anymore. Like, there's nothing left for me in the actual City Skylines game anymore because I've played it so much. I played, what, 400 hours of that sort of game without too many mods, at least to the level that I've got now with the decoration and stuff. So I've gotten everything I can out of that game, and I'm playing a heavily modded, entirely different game with an entirely different goal. And I think that's the point I need to get to with a game like Planet Coaster before I can start building cool shit like I do in City Skylines. I need to make sure that there's like nothing left for me in the actual game so that I can just build pretty shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. It's different with each game, of course. But I like that a lot. It's I've never really played too many of the Tycoon games. I think I have some memory of playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 back in the day. And then I played Zoo Tycoon 2 as well, which I enjoyed. I actually bought that on a disc a couple of years ago. That was always fun. But yeah, building your own theme park's really cool, and you can build your own coasters and all that sort of stuff. So, I don't know. I was sort of looking for another game that I could play on the channel, and it was for sale on Steam, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a try and we'll see. And I think it could be something that people would be interested in, so if you agree, then let me know and we'll see how we go. But as you're seeing at the moment, what I'm doing is starting work on... I've basically done the intersection, and I'm trying to get the design that I want for the transport hub. I don't know, I don't really have plans when I start building stuff. I don't tend to look at pictures, it just comes from my mind. I think what I might start doing actually is trying to find areas from real life and recreate them. That's definitely what I'm going to do with the suburbs, because I don't know what the hell I want to do with the suburbs. So I'll find a style, see if there's like an asset pack on the workshop or something, and then we'll do our suburbs like that. So, I mean, Alexandria, a lot of builders, they'll base their cities heavily off an area. Me, Alexandria is not based off of anything. It's just, hey, this could be cool, so I build it like that. And I don't know whether it's good or not, that's entirely up to you, but I like building it, and I like Alexandria so far. So that's pretty much the long and the short of it. It's not completely fancy. It's not, oh, I'm trying to recreate something from my life in a game, which, I don't know, it's funny, I tend not to, I wouldn't bother doing that in City Skylines, but I don't know, I do that a lot in games like The Sims and things. It's weird how that works, but yeah, anyway, I'm not sure there's really much else for me to say. I tend to struggle to ramble for too long, and also, the big issue is that it is so hot in my room right now. Siri? Okay. How hot is it? I want to see how hot it is right now. Yeah, it's like 30 degrees now and it's cloudy. It was 34 today, and like I said, 43 yesterday. So, it's warm in my room. I've had the sun on me, or in my window, all day. My room is closed, my door's closed, and City Skylines has been running all day on my computer. So it's a tad warm, so I will leave you to watch the rest of the time lapse, and I will see you in the live stuff.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
I think this is going to be my little place of zen now, because this is about the only place in the city where I get 30 frames per second. Then I have a look back over there. 8 frames a second. How nice. Lovely. Delicious. I've done some stuff, haven't I? Some of it finished, some of it not, most of it not. The stuff that is finished is really only half finished. Mainly, this area is where most of the work has gone. Another residential development. It's very much more in the vein of this area we did last time, in that it's an enclosed development, so the only way in is right here, which is a problem. Because as you'll see when the lights go here, I think I've got time traffic lights here. People, they stop here. And they don't flow through nicely. And I knew that was going to happen if I dragged the road so close around here, hence why I sort of moved them up this way. And then have the intersection here, because it was an intersection here and here, because the two intersections are so close together, people don't flow through, they stop for no reason. And then, I didn't even think about the fact that this is too close, and now they stop. Also, it affects the right lane as well, not just the left lane. I assumed it would just affect the left lane, because they're the ones turning in there, but no. So what I might have to do at some point is drag this road through here, so that people can flow in properly. But it's really only an issue when you have a large influx of people, which isn't too often, so that's fine. What else is going on? What have I done? It's basically just an enclosed development. We've got some townhouses here, some older style ones. Each of them have a little garage, which is nice. And then we have these bigger apartments, which are separate pieces, but they're all just sort of merged together with the Move It mod. Where are they? I think they're in high density. Yeah, they're these guys here, so you can chuck them on there and they all sort of fit, and then you just like move it to merge them together, which is pretty cool. It's quite useful, and they hold a fair amount of people as well. Like this is 60 households, I think. Whoops, I'm still in the Move It mod. No, move it. Stop. Thank you. Can I click? No? I can't click on you now. Move it to being a troll. There we go. No, it's still... What? Okay, now we're packaging. Can the game... Okay, I don't want to be in the move it mode anymore. But I can't select anything anymore. Excellent. Anyway, you'll just have to take my word for the fact that there are about 60 households apiece, the corner ones, and the other ones are about 35 or 40. So you can hold a fair few people in there. Hence why there's a bit of an influx of people at the moment, because we've just gone through a death wave. Hence why also this is here. I need to find a new crematorium because none of the ones look good. But this is where, like, most of the work has gone. I just use like in a sentence and I hate myself. I've gone with the red paving on the ground just for something different. It's sort of difficult to merge it with the other concrete because there's no circular pieces, so I just did like a bit of an extra bit with some lighter coloured paving concrete and then lines around, and that's really the best I can do, to be honest. I've been using a lot of... Where are they? They're in the decal menu. They're just like, they turn the concrete into tiles, and I found them very useful. Where are they? Yeah, these guys. So you can basically chuck them on concrete and it gives it a tiled look, which is really useful. That's what I did down here. We'll get to this area in a bit, so that looks like it's all paved now, even though it's just concrete, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I showed all the stuff over here. I think doing the front of it's very tedious, but you know, City Skylines is tedious, and I didn't show doing this side because it's just the same old crap, and otherwise the time lapse would be an hour and a half long, which is no fun. We have these townhouses, like I mentioned as well, slightly separate. They have some backyard space, which is nice. There's also some parking out the back here, some cargo-y crap out the back for trailers. I don't know, maybe there's some restaurants down the bottom of this or whatever, and then the apartments are up the top, so you've got trucks delivering food, refrigeration trucks and all that. Same around the back. A little parking space in here, which is just sort of an empty area. And I figured instead of putting parking spaces, residents are just likely to sort of cram in where they can, given it to their house. So there you go. There's also a little promenade across or along the front here. You'll have to forgive me with the clipping for the decals. See, whoa, that's what it actually looks like without the magic of, well, decals actually working. Good lord, 6 frames a second. Wow, that's why we don't go into first person view. But that's the deal we've got down here. So it looks pretty nice. Everything in City Skylines looks a bit more shit up close, so we won't go in too close. But that's what I've done so far. Also, that isn't just what I've done so far. I have laid the beginnings of a bit of a transport hub that I want for this part of the city. There'll be another one over in the downtown area, which will be built over here. We'll start that in a few episodes' time, I think. I want to try and get some suburbs going. The good news is, actually, I've got my zoning back, which is awesome, so I can zone whatever the hell I want now, and they'll just go. They'll just go. There they go, which is nice. So I've got more than one asset now. It was just something in the... I don't think it was the mods menu. I don't know what it was. It was some menu where European and international buildings weren't checked as part of a theme or something. So there you go. That was the problem there. Just something that got unticked. I don't know if I unticked it or it was unticked when I installed the mod or whatever. Who knows? It was done for a long time, obviously, because I've been having that issue for like a year. So now I don't have to reco. So suburbs should be easier. I'll download a couple of packs of different suburban houses, and then we can basically just lay them. And won't have to do too much decorative stuff, which will be very nice. But over here we have, like I said, the start of a transport hub. This is going to be the main bus place, so buses will pull in here and pick up passengers. We have a bit of a shelter under here, which is my frame rate safe haven. All decorated and stuff. It's pretty nice. Then pedestrian bridges going over the top, linking both our station over here and our residential area. This is a metro station, thanks to the metro overhaul mod, so metro lines can now be drawn above ground, of course, thanks to that mod. I'm going to move this station over here, so they're going to both be sort of together. And hopefully that will work in some way. I don't know, people get off and then get off the train, get onto the metro, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes. There's also monorails and stuff, but I don't think I'm going to use monorails in this part of the city. We'll use them downtown, but it's a suburban area, so I don't want monorails and all the big metal stilts and crap that come with that. Maybe streetcars could be cool. I don't know, we'll see. And then of course this big old intersection here, which has been started but not finished, which is pretty much how everything goes in my life, started but not finished. It's cool, I like it. I wasn't sure about this part over here before, but now that's all sort of been incorporated with these roads over here, I'm pretty happy with it. Stuff will change, of course, and it'll look better once it's decorated and there's other buildings around. But yeah, it's pretty productive episode, I think. I don't know how the time-lapse has turned out. I haven't looked at it yet. I've cut some of it together, but I haven't really played through it that much. Also, my cinematic mod isn't working because I've restarted the game. I need to get the bloody no fires mod because the amount of times I have to restart the game throughout a session because a fire destroys 90% of my city is really starting to piss me off. So that'll be a good mod to get. I've been meaning to, I just keep forgetting. Also, I think I would have mentioned this already, but the game is running a bit better now, and it only takes like 10 minutes to boot thanks to an extra 8 gigs of RAM, so I'm running 16 gigs now, which is the bare minimum you should be running for City Skylines. I don't know how I lived without it for so long, but I'm not anymore, which is good. I mean, frame rate's still pretty crap. Bubble in my throat. But that's pretty much to be expected. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with all this stuff. Maybe this is a cycle lane along here. I was wondering what the hell this was, but it's basically I just wanted to put some colour in there with the yellow decal. So maybe this is a little cycle lane. So this is pretty tight along here for the pedestrians. You don't want bicycles going through it, so they can just cycle along the side like that. Unfortunately, I can't put bus stops on the right-hand side of the road, which is strange. But that's just a thing that I can't do, unfortunately. Which means that all the foot traffic is going to be going to this side, which means that my nice little thing over here is going to be empty. So I'll just get the... there's like a park generator. It's like a civilian generator, which just generates a number of civilians to walk around parks and that. Which should be good, so it should make it look in use, which will be nice. I hope people use these seats. There's little S-shaped seats in here, which are pretty cool. They're like benches, so I don't know if people will use them the same as the regular benches. Hopefully they will. So this should look like it's in use somewhat, and maybe some people. I think there's been people walking over here every now and then, so that'll be kind of cool. But yeah, the main thing that I'll be doing next time is working on this, well, this intersection, and then trying to bring all the transport stuff together, because the suburbs will be sprawling out from here, and I don't know, we need some good transport for that. The metro line will be good for that. It'll probably be metro, like, underground from to the right, I should say. And then to the left, it'll be above ground sort of stuff. Because that'll be kind of nice to have some little train lines running throughout, I think. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I do want to put some more apartments along here. There's a bunch of townhouses and stuff, which are pretty nice. If I can find them. For some reason, the extended toolbar or whatever doesn't work with Rico for some reason. I still only get one little row, which is irritating. Where the hell is it? Maybe it's in the low density stuff. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Little townhouses. These are more sort of modern ones. I think they'll be nice to have sort of near a train station. They're a bit different. I like them. They remind me of sort of The Sims 4, actually, for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, we'll start trying to just fill things out, really. I might do... Oh, what's going on now? Is there a fire? Of course there's a fire over there. Well, I'll leave that because I can't be asked to deal with that right now, and I'll just load the save. See what I mean by needing no fires mod? It's a pain in the ass. But anyway, yeah, next time the transport hub will be built, this intersection will be finished, and we might get to work on laying some of the groundwork for the suburbs as well. I don't know what I'm going to do about the terrain here, because it's all sort of very hilly, and City Skylines doesn't cope very well with building on slopes, so we'll see if we can work around that. But as always, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next video, and until then, as always, stay awesome.